Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to DC Universe Online. I am over here on the test server just really wanting to demonstrate you guys the 3 new focuses, and we're going to first start off with Superpowered. Now Superpowered focus is the spiritual successor to the advanced mechanics that we've all been using for the past 4 or so years. So in Superpowered, what you're doing is you're only using your ability tray to do whatever you're wanting to do, all your damage. I'm only going to be going by what's intended by the developers based on the game. So you see here that Superpowered is recommended for damage. It's for DPS players who only want to use superpowers. It's really inclined for combo powers like Rage, Celestial, and Hardlight, and Atomic, but Atomic is a little different because it can also use Hybrid, and we'll go into Hybrid a little later. But here with Superpowered, we're going to talk about how to spec it and what mods to really look out for. And this is only, of course, my opinion. Again, I'm going by whatever the developers, how they actually intended when it comes to the DPS players in this community, and even the support players as well, changing up a little bit, finding their own little quirks to it. More power to them, and I hope they share what they find to the rest of the community, and Godspeed on that. So here in Superpowered, we're going to be doing damage. We are DPS. So as DPS, we're going to spec into critical attack chance to give us an extra 20%. That's fully spec'd. Going to critical attack damage, fully spec'd in 40 points. That's 80% critical attack. And then we're going to come down here to might and power. So power has been combined with might because Superpowered is only doing damage from superpowers, from our ability tray, and our ability tray only does might damage. And in order to be really effective in the Superpowered, you're really going to need to be having a large power pool, and that's why they combined might and power together. So you do get that extra oomph from power. And that's also how you kind of want to mod as well. If you're finding yourself to having a little bit of trouble with your power pool, and it also goes by how you do your loadout as well, as every power is going to be a bit different, but it still needs to have that kind of mindset as a Superpowered focused player that this is how you need to look. You need to look at your power bar. You need to look at your max power. You need to look at the power of your abilities. You have to. So spec-wise, you need to go into Superpowered. Go ahead and get your crits from critical attack chance and your damage. Those can be however you really want, whatever works for you. This is not the be-all, end-all spec. This is just how to spec. However many points you want to put into these things is all up to you as the player, as we learn the stats revamp in this era and see what works and what doesn't. So there's that. If you're wanting to learn a little bit more, you have to put a point into your weapon, okay? You as a superpowered loadout, as a superpowered focus player, you don't use your weapon at all. You don't get any power regeneration from your weapon. It's all based off of your passive power regeneration, which that is based off a percentage of your max power pool. In superpowered, you have an extra 25% to your power regeneration. So as well as a plus 10% to might and plus 10% to power. So why do you have to put a point into your weapon? It's because in your loadout, in your gear, you have to have a weapon you have to have a weapon equipped. And that weapon equipped it has to be a weapon. You might not be using it, but you'll need it to block, break, and lunge and everything, just like you normally would do. So with this here, you need to put a point into your weapon. But I recommend, instead of having to waste a skill point into your weapon, if you want to spend 1 point into your weapon for whichever weapon you use, go for it. More power to you. But I do recommend saving that skill point and grabbing a weapon. Grabbing a weapon that is your default weapon. Remember at character launch, you have your default weapon. On this character, it's a martial arts. So I already have a default martial arts skill point already spent by default because it's pre-bought. That's how I recommend players. You can choose a different weapon, and if you do, it's more power to you. You have to be comfortable with whatever weapon you want to use. But outside of that, if you just need it so you can have your proper gear and your combat rating doesn't go low or anything, and you also need those stats, grab the weapon from your default from your default. My default's martial arts. All my other characters on live servers has been bow, has been dual pistols. Don't ask. Just go for your default, and that will save you 1 skill point. When also looking into your movement mode, again, this is just how I only put 5 points. I could easily put 7 so I can get the knockback restraint and also a knockback recovery. So you have your options there to put. You need to put your points into your movement mode as usual. And then iconic powers, you don't really need them unless you want them. They're all extra flavor, all cost skill points. So that's really it. Superpowered is, again, just using your ability trays, and it works best for combo players. If you're Rage, Hardlight, or Celestial, or even Atomic, you want to go into Superpowered. But Atomic does have that extra oomph with it, where it can do anything else. It has a different way of doing damage that's outside of it. But that is a Superpowered focus, and again, when it comes, especially comes to your loadout in Superpowered focus, depending on how many skill points you have on your player or on your person, you want to spec yourself into might and power, and you want to spec yourself with power mods. I'm only recommending it. It's just a recommendation. Again, better DPS players out there will definitely have better options, and I recommend players out there just trying it out. Grab some betas and go forth and try it out. But the more power you have, the more power you have, the more you can use your abilities. And in your ability trays, probably at default in your loadouts, you want to make sure you have no more than 2 300 power cost. Here's your base power cost for your abilities. This is how much it's actually going to cost you at your CR. Your power cost will go up as your CR goes up. So the better gear that you get, the higher your power cost will get. It's how the game is. That's how the developers made it. So, but I've been seeing a lot of players who have been working on loadouts, and the majority of them have been only using 2 300 power cost abilities and no more. Because having a third in there, you're going to be wasting you're going to be burning your power much more than you can get it regened by your passive power regeneration and also by your controller refilling you up. But that is the Superpowered focus. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the chat or in the comment section below, and be sure to head over to the forums in the Oracle's Guide section. Pinrin, I have to give a shout out to Pinrin, and also give a shout out to Black Jack, I believe it is. They have created some new guides for electricity and for gadgets, and this is post revamp stuff. So please go out there and take a look. Go find your guides, and I will see you guys in game. Take care. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button to watch more videos when they come around. And if you want to throw a little extra support, head over to my Patreon page. And now, just watch a little bit more from the other playlist videos right below.